Welcome to the Caravan Show, where we discuss all things caravans. That's right, everything you need to know about caravans, from weights, towing, maintenance, appliances, renovations, buying a caravan, repairs, destinations and reviews. We'll also chat with some Aussie legends, manufacturers, suppliers and of course, people who love caravans. Take it away, Roy.
So g'day everyone, it's Roy West here from the podcast Caravan Show, and today I've got the pleasure of having a conversation chat with Jack Dempsey. Now, Jack Dempsey's the mayor of the Bundaberg region here in Queensland. Jack, welcome to the show this morning.
Look, it's great to be with you, Roy, and all our passionate caravanners out there, and thanks for the opportunity of showcasing our beautiful region.
Jack, I can't help but mention the fact that at the moment I saw your name, I thought, Jack Dempsey, I know this name. You must be world famous or something.
Look, it certainly endeared me as a young boy, because I actually did a little bit of boxing as a young fella, and everyone's father wanted their son to beat Jack Dempsey. So I think I won my last fight by 100 metres, but I certainly realised early in the piece, but the best asset you've got is your voice. Yeah, so definitely a lover, not a fighter.
Good on you. Jack, you're the mayor. How long have you been the mayor in Bundaberg?
Look, we've just had the local government elections. This is my second term, and certainly loving it. We've got a great team here, wonderful community, fantastic community spirit. I think we're quintessential Queensland, but certainly our greatest strength is that we're a safe place and we've got diversity right across the region. So from economic times to obviously the pandemic with COVID-19, we certainly have a tight-knit community, and we're built off the back of immigration and many nationalities across our region. So we have that little bit of...
I'm starting to already get the idea of why you've been elected for a second term. You're very passionate about your area.
Oh, I certainly are, Roy. I'm passionate about caravans because they're the storytellers for Australia. Whether it's around the campfires or in the parks, they push that message out about what it's like to be Australian, and that's very indicative of our beautiful Bundaberg area as well. And we're thankful for our caravanners, because a lot of them actually end up relocating here once they've seen the value and the lifestyle, but also simply by pushing that message out of being a caring community, which is very important.
So you cater well for the caravanners in your area?
Look, certainly we do. We have, the council itself has 6 parks, but also there's about 7 other private parks in the area as well, and we do whatever we can to put our infrastructure and walking pathways and other parks around those private and both public parks as well, to make it an overall experience, because it's, if someone comes in your door at home, you want to be welcoming, and the same way we want to be with our caravan people, because at the end of the day, they're all here to have good health and look after each other.
From a pure economic standpoint, how important is caravanning into your area? I mean, financially, your business, how much reliance is there on that?
Oh, look, the caravan industry and what it brings from the day visitor to the weekly to even the monthly and yearly visitors that we have around our region is immensely important. It's in the tens of millions, because Bundaberg, our main tourism is from drive traffic, and if we can obviously not just promote Bundaberg, because we all got to work together, is the whole of the Wide Bay. So as you're coming in from South Burnett or North Burnett, or in through the Fraser Coast and up through from Brisbane or the western side, we want you to have a holistic experience, to be able to be relaxed, to know that you're travelling safe on good roads, that when you get here you got a welcoming hand, and also that you're going to get value for dollar. Whether it's from our beautiful beaches to our streams, the hinterland, the patchwork quilt. If you're able to get up in a balloon or aeroplane and look down, you'd almost think you're in Europe with the patchwork fields, and it's beautiful to look at. The scenery's great, and but the people are even better.
It's interesting. Some of the mayors that I've been talking to recently have been touting how good their regions are for wine, but of course anyone worth listening to knows exactly what you guys are famous for there at Bundaberg. And I'm just wondering whether or not you can arrange a few... No, just joking. It's obviously...
Well, we know it's a family show, Roy, so I've got some of our famous ginger beer here with us. And I've brought along... Terry the Turtle as well, for people to jog their memories that we've got the beautiful the Bundaberg Rum. We have wine trails and food trails and all the other things to entice people to the region at a low cost. But there's certainly the diversity and when you pull up, you feel at home, and that's what we want people to feel like when they come to in the region. And we also understand is Bundaberg, it's not just about Bundaberg, it's about the wider region as well. And we just want people to get out after this COVID-19 and experience a little bit. And it's good for their mental health. And if they know they come into a safe place, it's even better.
Well, we're actually saying, look, forget COVID-19. Queensland is opened up for Queenslanders. We don't have to rely on people coming from other states. We're big enough to be looking after our own backyards. I mean,
that's right.
You're not that far from Brisbane. It's how long to drive to?
Oh, look, it's less than 4 hours up the Bruce Highway. Nice, safe stretch. Beautiful little, varieties of shops and coffees along the way, and it's just that good distance. And once you get here as well, Roy, is what we're talking about a little bit earlier, is that we have a lot of the main dealerships as well as repair businesses in town as well. So they're here because everyone, whilst Bundaberg is Australia's best kept secret, is that they know when they get here that they experience the beautiful community, and those businesses are flourishing on the back of the amount of visitors that are coming here with their caravans.
Of course, you're saying it's Australia's best kept secret, but in fact, it's a secret that's occupied by how many people?
Oh, look, across our region, it's about 100,000, and we've got a lot of turtles in there as well, and it's actually one of the closest places on the east coast of Australia that you can actually stand on the mainland and actually see the whales. So we get all what's called the big five here. We get the whales, the dolphins, as well as the turtles, the huge big mantras off our beautiful islands here, Lady Elliot's and Lady Musgrave, and because of that, the reef, it's a southern reef, which is certainly has far less bleaching than the other parts of the reef, and we have our giant clams. So that's the ocean side. But the rivers and streams, Bundaberg region has the second most boat registrations in Queensland. The first is the Gold Coast area, and then Bundaberg per population. So we love our outdoor lifestyle. We've got great fishing from the Baffle to the Burrum, the Burnett, the Elliot rivers, all the streams. You can certainly, I reckon it's one of the health. You'll live longer if you come to Bundaberg, put it that way.
Sounds like a plan. So you've got 100,000 people living in your area, but your area is also rather huge, isn't it? You've got a very large region.
Oh, we have, Roy, from once you enter in from the southern side, from coming up from Brisbane, you'll enter into beautiful historical Childers. With heritage-themed streets. You'll get a beautiful cafes, as well as a really good country welcome. If you go further up from the north side, you'll go through the towns of Gingin, and Gingin is one of the beautiful little secret places. Besides the pie shops, there's great places to stay there, and we have lots of other rest areas for people to pull over and have a couple of days before they then move into the main Bundaberg area, and that's over towards all our beach areas. Woodgate it's world class. It's one of the top 5 beaches being recognised yearly in the world, and certainly the white silicon sands there, to coming up to Bagara where we have our golden sands, and Monrepo, obviously $25 million just got spent on our turtle centre there, and it's a wonderful experience. It's one of those bucket list things that I really suggest people to do, whether you're either on the reef or in the hinterlands experiencing the rich red dirt. It's something to see, And then if you pick the time when we've got our cane fires as well, which we're about to come into that season, it's something you remember for life when you see those flames just breaching the darkness. And we have functions around those experiences as well for meals and tourist attractions as well.
Jack, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit now. Most of the people, most of the regions, you can kind of Google nowadays because this form of social interaction is so easy to get information on regions. But what I'm going to ask you for is if you can come up with 2 or 3 things that are fit into that secret mode that you were referring to before, things that you won't find on Google, things that people really should go looking for and that only the locals really know about. Something a little bit unique that you won't find by Googling Bundaberg.
Well, first of all, what I love for myself is Sunday mornings. You can go around our little towns for a nice quiet drive. You can grab a paper or magazine, have a cup of coffee in one of the bakeries, and just relax for a start. And certainly from our coastal areas, I love, everything from Baffle. The Baffle area is one of the most pristine and uninterrupted water systems in Australia, and it's like going into this mystery world of streams and water courses that then breach out onto the beach areas, and you've got the wild surf and the salt experience as well, and you can still catch a fish. The river behind us here, the Burnett, I've got 5 children, and if I get any time of break, I grab a rod and I go to the river. 2 seconds away, I'm down there catching a fish. And I can go anywhere in Bundaberg and I can get a 3-course meal to sit in front of, and within a 50-kilometre radius, all the stuff on that plate comes from 50 kilometres. Everything from the dairy to the meat to the fruit and veggies. And the reason why Bundaberg is so prolific in agriculture is because of our location. We get a beautiful sea breezes. We grow agriculture all year round, fruit and vegetables. Everyone hears about cane, but from macadamias to avocados, passion fruits.
I'm going to cut you short there, Jack. I want to go back to those secrets, mate. Your passion just flows over. I love it. I do. And actually, I've fished in Baffle Creek, so I do get it.
Yeah, and it's fantastic, Roy. And there's so many. Like you go to the coast, like Barolin Rocks there, that's coral reef right off the edge of Coral Cove. Now, there's caravan parks just up the road from that, whether you want to go to Elliott Heads on the river there, so you can actually go on the river or turn left, and the caravan park's right on the beach, to beautiful, safe beaches. And we're very lucky. I spent 20 years in the police before this, 14 different spots all around Queensland, and one of the reasons we came here as well is, as you can see, I'm not a surfy type, but if I go to the beach, I don't have to worry about the stingers. So we've got safe beaches, and that is so important to us.
That is a big deal, a really big deal. A lot of people are attracted to come up north because of our beaches, and then find themselves in places where you can't swim. And the major reason is those stingers.
It is. It looks good, but you can't go in. And there's other few bitey things as you go a little bit further north. Here is it's a great spot, and certainly I think because we're built off of that agricultural area, we're pretty inventive in the way that for self-help. So anything you want to do or fix, we can do it here in town. We've got the cafes, we've got a really vibrant arts and cultural community as well. So we have all those things. We're very lucky in Queensland and Australia. You'll see all of those normal things that every other town will have, but it's the hidden secrets, as you say, Roy, around here that's really important. Like the back of Bulbunda Tunnel, the largest man-built tunnel in the southern hemisphere, with the little bats in there to drive through that. Like not even a lot of locals realise these things are around, and it's just magic. Yeah,
that sounds beautiful. Jack, do you have statistics on how long caravanners tend to stay in your area?
Yeah, well, what we normally find is between that 14 to 15 days, because as a council, over the last 4 years, we've really pushed to be caravan friendly. So we've put in more dump points, we've opened up more free stop areas, and what we've been able to do is then connect that to bicycle and other pathways so that people can stop longer. So whilst we used to, we get 10,000 people every day on the Bruce Highway. And we said, hey, we've got to get them to, whilst they're experiencing Childers and Gingin, to turn into Bundaberg and see our paradise here. And that's what's occurring now. So because we've opened up these more or less rest areas and facilities, people come in, they get a little taste, and now we've seen a rise in our parks where people are saying, hey, I want to spend a couple of weeks here. And what we've also found is now people are actually seeing the quality lifestyle, especially from the other coastal areas down south and Brisbane suburbs are actually coming up here because they see the value of actually purchasing and living. If you put it in perspective, our retiree base here is 24% of our rate base. Cairns and Townsville is 7 and 9% respectively. So people come up, they realise they've had a lifestyle and they realise that they can have affordability. We talk it like others talk about having the house and the avocado. Well, you can have a field full of avocados and a couple of houses and a business and enjoy life now.
And wash it down with a Bundaberg Rum.
Yeah, good old rum. We have Kalki Moon, gin companies. We have Baffle beer. We have Bagara beer because that's the thirsty turtle, we call that one. And it's just, look, the list is endless, Roy. And we've got something for everyone, whether you're a young family that's wanting to keep the children busy and have that adventure, to our most senior citizens who want to be able to have a good economic trip, what's not busting their wallets, and they can enjoy and get a lot of, basically, we have a lot of free stuff here. Our cultural centres and art centres are open. When COVID's over and done with, all the other sporting fields and recreation activities, and if you've got an opportunity, you only need a fishing rod to go for a fish, and it's pretty good.
It actually sounds to me like a location where 14 days probably isn't enough. I mean, a lot of our travellers are looking for places to go, and they do tend to just keep on the move sometime, and rather stop and actually smell the roses of where they're at. And that's part of what I'm trying to say to Queenslanders right now, before our interstaters take over our tourist regions, and they will, as soon as those borders are open up, they're going to come flooding in. Look, before they do that, get out there and start to experience it now, and hang around for a while. Actually stop and smell the roses. Have a look at what's on your doorstep. We don't need to travel overseas. We don't need to go on boat cruises. We don't need to travel around the country. Anyone, doesn't matter where you're located, whether you're in Brisbane, Perth, Sydney, Darwin, anywhere, there's actually plenty on your doorstep that you should be exploring right now.
Oh, Roy, I couldn't say it any better, and particularly now in the next couple of months, where we've got a huge amount of caravanners from that southeast sector, where we're only less than a half a day up the road. And you don't have to be thinking, for weeks at end. We love that too. But if you just want short trips in the infancy to get a taste and get out of the southeast, you come up here, and you'll certainly enjoy this area. But
let's face it, and just as importantly as this, we actually need them. We need Australians to start getting things moving again, and there's no expense. In fact, this type of travelling costs less. They can enjoy what's available, and these regions actually really need you out there, people. We really need our local tourism to take off. The numbers and the good that we can do while enjoying ourselves, like there is no expense. It's all enjoyment, and it does so much good for everybody.
Oh, Roy, fuel's never been cheaper. Food's cheap as it can. We're in a fruit and veggie bowl where you can actually pull up. That's one of the secrets here. You can pull up and get the food straight from the farm, and it's all the other facilities are laid on, and I just think it's a no-brainer to come out to regional Queensland, but particularly I'll put the Bundaberg hat on, of course, and say come up and experience beautiful Bundaberg.
And we keep harping on this point too, is that the language is the same, the money, the currency is the same. In fact, we can come from Brisbane, we can get up to Bundaberg. In fact, we can do it probably 4 times in the time that it takes to be able to just fly to some of the overseas destinations. And actually, in that journey, we can enjoy everything that has to offer along the way. And then when we get the other end, we're greeted by people like Jack Dempsey. It's just fantastic.
Well, and what we do is basically there's 100,000 Jack Dempseys out here that want to welcome you, and even from even the reef experience alone, So I'll be a bit more parochial here. Is that you can hop in your car, you can get the boat out, you're on the reef. Within a few hours. You're not spending 2 days travelling and all the other costs that come with it. So it's a matter of, this is one of the most beautiful parts of the reef, and it's the most environmental friendly reefs with the less more or less scarring on our particular reef. So if you're wanting to have a short trip up, get out to the reef. You can see Barolin rocks. So put that in your itinerary, and that's what I mean. It is one of the best kept secrets. People go past and they see all the other slogans everywhere else, and it's just in their back door.
Sorry, Jack. So is there things like charter fishing expeditions available? I mean, I personally don't own a boat, but I like to get out in a boat.
Yeah, if you're in that, if a lot of people that we've even got with our caravans have got the tinnies as well, but there's all the higher ones, everything from going marlin fishing down to a small tinny, and then we've got the reef boats that go out to Lady Elliot, Lady Musgrave, as well as just out whale watching. Like it's a wonderful experience. As I said, there's something for everybody to get that a whole experience. And if the locals are the second largest boat registrations in Queensland, well, that they're fair income about experiencing their own beautiful. We've got dams here from Mondrian Dam where you can pull up there in the van park there as well and catch a barra. Australia's largest barra was caught at Lake Mondrian here, that is just down the road from Gingin. So we certainly have got a lot of hidden secrets.
Look, it sounds fantastic, Jack. And again, I say this a lot because it's hard not to say it, but after talking to the mayors around the country, I just want to get out and do these things myself. I really want to jump in the car, hook up the van and say, let's just go. It just sounds fantastic.
It is, Roy, and that's how simple it is. And realistically, as I said in the very beginning, we are a very safe community, a safe place to come into. We pride ourselves on basically on quality and clean produce, and with that, comes a beautiful environment. And you think of the last few months where we get a little bit programmed in our own homes and our own experiences. Everyone's ripe to get out, so there's no better thing than actually using your van, using what you got, getting up the road, keeping your costs down, because people are still wondering how this is going to be in years ahead. And if they've got an asset that's in the garage, in the yard, come up, give it a trial run up to Bundaberg. Where are you going to go? You're going to go through, through Gympie and Fraser Coast or Kingaroy or North Burnett. How beautiful is that? And certainly this time of the year, and you couldn't get any better.
So there isn't actually a time of year that it's better where you are. I mean, there's something all year long. You're on that Mediterranean belt, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. We've got the same climatic conditions as Hawaii. That's why we are able to grow fruit and veggies all year round, because we don't get the frosts. And any variety of fruit and veggies, they're able to grow it here in the rich soils, because we've got that beautiful rich red earth. We've got abundance of water, second to the Ord River system in Western Australia, and we've got the quality farms. And we've even got, from that transport side, being that, 3.5 to 4 hours, it's a really good safe drive as well. So people can actually test it out, coming to here, staying overnight, and then moving on from there. Because if you head north from here, you don't have to go back on the Baffle. You go back up through Rosedale Road up to 1770, Agnes Waters, Miriam Vale. There's all that other little beautiful coastal run that you can experience as well. So I just encourage everybody to, as well as seeing everything on Dr. Google, is to come up and experience it for yourself.
And of course, the other thing with your region that as Australians, we tend to think a lot about history, but we don't always recognise our own local history. Of course, your area is absolutely rife with early settler history, and as well as Aboriginal history as well, isn't it?
It's immense, from us here, we have, as well as all those different European cultures, we have a strong Indigenous culture, and we've got lots of tours there. We also have our South Sea Islander culture here, from all our rock walls to our lookouts to, how we used to be able to catch fish on the coastal areas as well as in the rivers. And when people come in to see these things, they just think, hold on, I've had to travel over the other side of the world to see these things, and it's in our own backyard. And for us here, we have what's called the Hinkler Hall, and Bert Hinkler was he was a rock star in his time. He was one of the first non-federal politicians to go on the floor of Parliament, and we have regular visits from NASA every year to come over because they understand the importance of Bert Hinkler in the engineering and aviation sector. So the hall over there in the cafe, there's only 2 houses in the whole of Australia that was actually relocated from Great Britain. One was Captain Cook's, which is down south, and the other is Bert Hinkler's house, which is here, which we call his Monrepo home, which came from Southampton in the UK. Brick by brick, that's the type of community we got here. They went over there and they brought it back here as part of the historical centre in our botanical gardens.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, most people know about Captain Cook's cottage, that tiny little cottage down in Melbourne, but
and the link, why we have the link with NASA, it's comes a little bit by tragic circumstances, because we get the regular visits of astronauts from all around the world coming and look, because Hinkler was way ahead of his time. Like even the fold-up aeroplanes you see on aircrafts today and so forth, that came from Hinkler's innovation and his entrepreneurial thinking. So what happened was, when the Space Challenger went into space, and the tragedy behind that, where it obviously blew up in the ocean off Miami, is Scobie, the captain, had actually come to Bundaberg because he admired Bert Hinkler so much. He brought a little piece of his glider with him in that tragic Challenger mission. When it exploded over the skies, one of the first pieces of the actual space aircraft that was located was a piece of Bert Hinkler's glider. And that was returned here by, obviously, NASA and the United States government. And their mission, which they want to complete now, is to actually take that little piece of the glider back up into space. And because of that, we have a strong link to the aviation sector as well.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't have known that.
No, we've got thousands of those stories, right? Yeah. It's we've got a great, obviously historical vehicles and heritage vehicles, and every little town's got its hidden secrets. But come to Bundaberg and find your own little piece of paradise and create your own memories. I think that's the beautiful part here. Is it's a place where you'll be able to create your own memories for life.
Jack, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much. And to the listeners out there, if you've never heard a welcome before, well, you've certainly heard one now. You're listening to Jack Dempsey from the Bundaberg region saying, please come and visit. We want to see you here. We've got lots to offer, lots to tell you, lots for you to see, lots for you to do. And we really do want you out here. That is Fantastic, Jack. Look, again, thank you for coming on the show this morning.
Thanks, Roy. Thanks for the opportunity. Listeners, your wonderful experience is our wonderful experience, and we want you to have a great time and a great lot of memories. And certainly, it's not where we want to be now; it's where we want to be in the future. And part of that, and so important to our region compared to anyone else, is we need the caravan community to come up and support our locals. But also, we'll certainly give you back the memories and experiences that you'll take away. And hopefully, just like the turtles, you'll come back.
Good on you, Jack.
Thanks, Roy.